Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our lunch today. I'm Mackenzie DeRue, Senior Director of Advocacy for Greater Iowa City, Inc., and we are delighted to have a special program today as part of our lunch with our Coralville residents who are running for mayor and city council this week. Before we get started, I do want to thank our sponsor for today's lunch, MediaCom Business. A quick round of applause to them for supporting this meeting. And another quick announcement that Greater Iowa City, Inc. will be having our annual meeting coming up on November 15th. We would love to see you there. So if you haven't registered, there's information on our website, or you can talk to Tom or I afterwards, and we'll be happy to send you a link. With that, we want to make sure that we get to the main part of today's meeting today. I was so grateful that Mayor Foster reached out with this idea to have a candidate forum with our representatives who are running for city council in Coralville. So I'm going to start by introducing them quickly and telling you about sort of their interest in running for office, and I'll have a few questions, but really this is time for you all, if you have questions to ask of these people who will be serving as your elected representatives, to ask them questions. So I hope that my part will be somewhat brief so that we can really hear from the group. So with that, first off, I would like to introduce Meghann Foster. Meghann and her husband have lived in Coralville for 22 years, where they have raised their 5 children. Meghann has served on the Coralville City Council since 2017 and was first elected mayor in 2021. Outside of City Council, Meghann teaches communications classes at the University of Iowa. During her time on the council, Meghann has worked to provide opportunities and resources to all Coralville residents and has pursued affordable housing solutions. As mayor, Meghann hopes to continue her work in creating a welcoming and inclusive community. Please welcome Mayor Foster. Next, we have 2 candidates for city council, starting with Royce Peterson. Royce has lived in Coralville for over 30 years, where he met his wife and raised 2 children. He has spent 35 years in the construction industry in multiple roles and is currently a business representative for Iowa City's Carpenters Local 1260 Union. On council, Royce hopes to continue the efforts of responsible growth and continue to take care of parks and trails within the community. Please welcome Royce. And finally, Rich Vogelzang. Rich has lived in Johnson County for over 25 years, calling Coralville home since 2016. During his 44-year career as a realtor, Rich has served as president of the Iowa City Area Association of Realtors and was the Realtor of the Year award recipient twice. He and his wife Anita live in Coralville and have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Rich believes it is important to get involved within the community and is eager to commit his time and skills to serving the people of Coralville. Please welcome Rich. So our first question, and for passing of mic, I think we'll just go right on down the line, is why are you interested in serving on city council or as mayor? And what skills and experience do you have that make you a strong candidate?
Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. And I really want to thank the folks at Greater Iowa City for being flexible with their programming and doing a nice pivot when I emailed and asked if this would be something they would be willing to do. Really appreciate them being able to accommodate this program. I think it's important, even though our races are uncontested, that the public have a chance to hear from us. So to your question, why am I running again for re-election? I love being mayor, and I love serving my community in this role. And I've been working on and with the city council for the last 6 years. I was first elected in 2017, and we've gotten a lot accomplished in the 6 years that I've been on the city council, and there's still a lot of work to do. I'm really proud of the progress that we've made on issues like affordable housing, on increasing access to those services and resources that our community members need. And I'm really proud of all of the growth and all of the projects that we are working on. And I want to continue that work with my council colleagues and our wonderful city staff.
Yeah, thank you as well, what Meghann said, for the Greater Iowa City putting this on. And just like she said, the reason I'm running is because I feel like I've been very involved in the community for several years anyway. And I'm at a good point in my life. My kids are grown up and out of the house, and I'm an empty nester. I enjoy doing public service. That's pretty much what my job has been for the last 16 years. And I look forward to, giving back to the community that's gave so much to me in the last 30 plus years. As far as the things that I think that the skills I have that would fall in well with being a city council member is I currently sit as a chairman on some health funds for our union, which makes me fiduciary for our union's money. And I think that will transfer over well as being a good steward of the community and our constituents' money is. So, I think that's one of the things that will convert over, and just the role of being in public office already more or so. I belong to the building trades in the area and sit on several other community boards. I work with the Center for Workers' Justice and some of the other organizations. So yeah, I think that it transitioned well. And I love this community. Like I said, Coralville has been very good to me. So thank you.
Thanks for everybody showing up, and thanks for hosting this. I think it's a great opportunity. Yeah, it's always been important for me to give back and be involved with the community in which you live and in which you earn a living. Like I said, I started in real estate back in 1979, and I was also a paramedic then with Johnson County Ambulance. Yeah, I've been involved with the Iowa City Association of Realtors. Currently very involved with the Iowa Association of Realtors. I'm on the Professional Standards Committee and a few other things. But and I was president of the Iowa City Association in 1989. And then my wife got recruited to the University Hospital in Rochester, New York. So that was in 1995. So we packed up. We lived in that area for 20 years. I stepped out of the real estate business for 4 years when I had the opportunity to be president and CEO for the Chamber of Commerce. And that was a great experience. I also served our 14 years out there I was on the board of fire commissioners for a large, fully staffed career fire department. And I was responsible for their budget for the last 7 years, I guess. So. And up until the end of last year, I was the managing broker for Leppert Krager Realtors. So I decided to step away from that because I needed some me time, and now I'm here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all. So this is my final question, and then we'll open it up to the audience, but it's a two-parter. So what are the greatest challenges facing Coralville right now? And what opportunities for the city most excite you?
I would say one of the biggest challenges that our community is facing is the atmosphere in Des Moines. And of course, I am deeply concerned about some of the culture war rhetoric that we're seeing coming out of Des Moines. I'm really concerned about that as somebody that wants to create a community that is welcoming and inclusive for everyone. Some of the laws and the rhetoric that we're seeing from our elected officials in Des Moines is not helping that situation. And, in general, a lot of the lawmakers under that Golden Dome do not understand the importance of local government. They do not understand the function of local government and all of the services that we provide for our constituents. And so that is a very big challenge. It has a direct impact on the services that we are able to provide our residents and our community members. And this is not a problem that is unique to the city of Coralville. I am very involved with the Iowa League of Cities, and I've talked to mayors and elected officials across the state, from big towns, small towns. These are things that we are all having to adjust to and to deal with in our communities. So hopefully we can convince them that home rule is a good thing. That is the way it is supposed to be in the state of Iowa, and hopefully they'll hear that message. So that has been a very big challenge for us. And what I'm most excited about is everything. You know, this community is growing, it is thriving. I am so proud of all of the work that we are doing. You know, we've had a couple of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings in the last couple of weeks. And these are businesses and organizations that are going to provide good jobs in our community. They're going to really have an impact. We have so many incredible amenities in the city of Coralville. We're becoming a destination spot. We already are a destination spot, in my opinion. And I am really excited about all of the new partnerships that we have created with new nonprofits, and continuing the work of bringing the resources that our community members need to our community. I'm really excited about all of those things.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what Meghann said as far as the stuff coming down from the state. But, you know, I think one of the biggest challenges we're going to have here is, you know, this city has done a great job with their growth and you know, making the infrastructure run in line with the growth. You know, we're right on point, I believe, there. But I think the biggest struggle is going to be, you know, maintaining the workforce to keep all these businesses up and running. You know, there's a shortage of labor everywhere, and we got to keep continuing to make Coralville a place where people want to come and raise their families and work and get involved in careers. And I think a lot of what Meghann said in the beginning, as far as the home rule and making this an inclusive community to keep young talent here in the Coralville area, I think is going to be a challenge. But, you know, we do that all the time. In my field, we're constantly putting people on our apprenticeship program. I was just talking to some people earlier about, you know, with all the work coming up in this area, we're looking to bring on 125 more carpenters. So, I mean, that's just a little blip of what we got. That's just what we currently have, not what's coming up. So, and what was the second part again? I'm sorry. What I'm excited about? Okay. No, I've always been excited about this city, and nothing against Iowa City. Please don't think of it. But I've always thought, you know, when I first moved here 30-something years ago, this was all grass. You know, we were talking about this earlier with Rich and how the fruit stand was down here. And I think the first hotel I stayed in was the Inns USA up here by Heartland Express, which is all gone now, right? But I'm just excited with the new arena and everything that we've done to make Coralville so appealing and making Iowa City a suburb to Coralville. Just kidding, just kidding. But no, we have a lot of good things going here in Coralville, and that's what excites me, right? So. I'll get in trouble for that one.
You know, it's at its very core, and I've said this before, but at its very core, any community consists of two things. You've got its land and its people. And if we have, and my hat's off to the administration to the city of Coralville. I think you've done a great job. I commend you for it. And in a small part, small piece, I'd like to continue to be part of that. But it's been, even though we were gone for a period of time, I always kept an eye on Coralville and the expansion and the involvement of the evolution of the city of Rochester, or city of Coral. It's just been absolutely amazing. And there's still a lot of opportunities available. Taking care of the people and taking care of the land by conscientious leaders who are visionaries will create a thriving community. And in my opinion, Coralville is in fact a very thriving community, and I foresee that to continue in the future. So, thanks.
And now it's time for you all, if you have any questions you'd like to ask these three individuals who are running for office up here, I can come and bring the mic to you. And if you'd introduce yourself quickly.
Hello, I'm Liz with Greater Iowa City Inc. You talk a lot about Coralville and development, which is really exciting. There's so many exciting developments in the IRL, future plans for other areas as well. One thing that's top of mind for me is that currently Coralville is really accessible for some of our earlier startups, entrepreneurs, especially in the restaurant field. How will you approach development while also making sure some of those maybe immigrant entrepreneurs aren't pushed out from their restaurants and other schools?
Anyone want to start?
Thank you for that question, because this is something that is extremely important to me. I believe that we need to have a very holistic approach when we are talking about economic development. Yes, we love our big, flashy, wonderful projects. I agree. I find all of that stuff very exciting, 100% on board with that. But I am really interested in also finding ways to nurture those entrepreneurs, the startups, and especially folks that are immigrant populations, more BIPOC populations, because we know that access to capital is a way to continue to grow and thrive within the community. So one of the things I'm really excited about with that is the Inclusive Economic Development Plan that was created. There's a lot of really wonderful stuff in there about how we can support those new entrepreneurs. I would be really interested in creating some type of space that is similar to what they have in the South District with their diversity market. I'm really passionate about providing that type of an opportunity so that we can have these smaller vendors like food trucks or even other folks that have things that they want to sell, having them start small and test their concept and build up that capital that they need so that maybe they can transition to a brick and mortar location someday. That's something I've always wanted to do. I think we have opportunity to do that in the Iowa River Landing if we had some type of market like that, or even in the Aquatic Center parking lot. So to be continued. I really hope that is something we can get off the ground at some point.
Yeah, so a lot of these programs I'm going to be learning about, I'm sure, that the city does provide. But one of the things I've done personally in that arena is worked with the Center for Workers' Justice, and we have several classes where we're teaching people of all different demographic on how to do restaurant, businesses, construction businesses. They're actually doing some training on, first of all, language. So they're doing language classes. We've actually been working with the University of Iowa with the Quality Pre-Apprenticeship Program, where we're helping immigrants in the area get everything they need up front to be able to come in and take a job with contractors or whatever it may be. If it's a language barrier, if it's getting their OSHA certifications or helping them with the tools or whatever it may be, that's one of the things. And the Center for Workers' Justice has been doing that for several years, and I've been on that board for almost 10 years now. So that's very important to me as well. And not just the big businesses like she's talking about, but protecting all the smaller businesses that's been here in Coralville forever, right? So we want to make sure we do that while we're growing and being responsible. So
Every big business starts small. I think Amazon started in somebody's garage. Look where they're at today. Economic development means nothing unless we have the people to support the businesses. Incubator programs are I think tremendous, and I've seen them work before. They work great. There's a lot of people can start in their home business, but they're kind of on that bubble. They can't really afford to enter into a long-term lease, even a 3 or 5 year lease. So they're kind of in that purgatory period. And so that's where the incubator programs, I think, really come in great. Some shared workspace, some things like that. They're something that can help the people, help the workers.
Another question from the audience.
Hi, my name's Art Floss, and I'm a longtime Coralville resident. I think my parents moved here in 1976. So I was 10 years old by then. At the time. Anyway, question for our candidates would be, is there a project or a program, anything from recycling to maybe a building or something like that that you feel that our community needs? It would obviously make living in Coralville even more desirable than it already is.
Thank you. We're going to start on the opposite end.
Starting at the bottom of the barrel, I say, thank you. I've got a lot to learn. So I'm be real honest with you, I'm not sure that I know enough to really answer your question, Art. I will say publicly, and I've said it before, and I will continue to say, I am a tremendous supporter of all emergency services. Having been there, I understand it, and it's a thing. It's people don't understand the quality of emergency services we have in our community, from the first responders to all the way up to the hospital care, and they take for granted, I think, a lot of things until they need emergency services 2 minutes ago. Then they need it right now. But Art, I think I have a lot to learn. I'm the first one to admit that. So, thanks.
Do you mind repeating that? I wanted to make sure I heard it right. Here, I'll come over to you. Oh, geez.
Oh, you're
I
mic'd
forgot
up.
about that.
Here, let's give it to.
I'm tethered. I can't go
It's
far.
a program or service that you think could be even further improved or invested in the city?
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yes, a project or a program.
Project or program. Okay. I thought I heard something about recycling in those. All right. Well. Yeah, geez. So a product or service that would be good for the community. I've lived here several years, and one of the things that interests me is our leaf pickup program in Coralville. I think that's something that we could revisit and maybe do something different with. I know the recycling works great for me as far as like everything gets picked up curbside, and there's other places we can drop off our recycling. So I think that's a good service. I mean, as far as having a clean city and well-maintained, our trails and everything, I think we do a great job. I think our fire department, our volunteer fire department, does an excellent job as well. I was placed on the Citizens Police Review Board for a while, and what I took away from that is that our police force does a great job. I think Shane Crone does an excellent job. We had a lot of events that came through this year through Coralville with Ragbri and 4th of July concert and everything was, we didn't have any big issues. So I commend them for the work that they do. I commend our city workers for the work they do. But the only thing I would back up on is probably the LEAF program would be something I'd be interested in looking at.
Okay, I don't know where to start because there are so many projects and programs and things that I would love to see our community invest in the future. I would say at some point I would love to invest in an updated rec center. We are doing some work on the pool. We're in a pre-design phase for the Coralville pool. This is a partnership with the Iowa City School District to provide that space for our community and for the students in our school district. Another project or program that I've always wanted to see come to fruition is a social services hub, where it would be similar to a co-working type of situation, where we would have space for different nonprofit organizations or service organizations to come and meet our citizens where they are at. So we are seeing some of this already with the Coralville Food Pantry, their WIC clinics that they have. Is it twice a month now? I'm looking to my colleague over there, who's the Associate Director of the Food Pantry. Hi, Wynn. So we do have that service already happening, and I would like to see that type of programming scaled so that we have a more regular rotation of these different nonprofits that could come in and meet our citizens where they're at.
Thank you. I believe we have time for one more question.
Hello, I am Mary Roy. I'm a Greater IC, but I'm asking this question because I've been a long time Coralville resident. Can you give us a status on the project that was going to happen in the southeast area of Coralville? Where is that at? And then what about the brownfield recycling area right behind it? Is that part of it? Is there plans for that area as well?
I'm going to give that one to Mayor Foster.
Yes. So I would also, I will answer this question. You would have to get more details from our city staff on this, but I'm assuming you're referring to the area behind Walgreens, correct? That area? Yes, so we are in the process of working with the developer on that project. There's a lot of moving parts. We have some issues with utility lines that need to be addressed. Obviously, there's a floodplain, and there's also some buildings and some spaces that we would like to acquire so that we can add some of that affordable commercial and residential space to that project. And the scrapyard is not a part of that.
Thank you very much. With that, can we give everyone a round of applause and thank them for their time today? If you have further questions, I'm going to volunteer that they can stay for 5 minutes or so. If you'd like to ask them something privately, please feel free to do so. Thank you all again for your time today. We are grateful. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful day.